the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
What's up, Titans Nation? Welcome in to the 615. It's your host, Lee Hillis, and we are getting ready for Titans Bills Sunday. Yes, we are a day early, but let's talk
couldn't
our
wait.
co-host here, TK. What's up, bro?
What's up, Titans Nation? Yeah, we just figured we'd go a little bit earlier this week. We had, the reporter on Monday from the Colts, and, we wanted to talk more about that, but we kind of want to get more into like the guts of this Titans team and what we have going on right now, because everybody knows it's pretty rough right now. It's kind of gloom over here and down in Tennessee.
It's all gloom and doom, it feels like.
Yeah.
But there have been moves made before the deadline.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams to the Jets on Tuesday for a third that could become a second based on his performance. The second one affects our game on Sunday. Amari Cooper is heading to Buffalo.
It's looking like he's going to be playing, right?
Yeah.
I was about to say he's got projected points in fantasy, so I'm guessing he's going to be playing us this week, which is not good for us.
Don't remind me.
Almost nothing's good for us at this point, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah. But there are other trades that could go down.
Yeah.
Surrounding the Titans too. The deadline is, I want to say, November 8th. I think
you're right. I think you're right. I think it is the 8th.
And the names that are going around, DeAndre Hopkins is right at the top of the list.
Yeah. Do you want to just finish what you're saying and then me give my 2 cents on that?
I'm actually looking up the trade deadline.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But as far as the D-Hop thing, I kind of told Lee at this point in the season, I think we should – I feel like – Lee, I feel like we could get more. It's looking like they were saying if it was to happen, it may have could be like a fourth rounder, but I feel like we need more than that. We need more than just a fourth rounder.
I would say do a fourth that could become a third.
Yeah,
or even a third that could become a second.
Yeah. Yeah. And then bring our boy Kenzie up.
And of course, Buffalo released Valdez-Scantling, who has been a force
with a couple teams at certain points.
Yeah. Kansas City to be one.
Yeah. He was with Green Bay.
Yeah. And Tyler and I, we've talked about this. If the trade for D-Hop does happen,
I think that would not be a bad person to shop. Is what me and Lee are basically like. We've talked about it a couple times this week, but I think that's kind of what. Yeah, that's if we do the. And it's looking like it would be to the Chiefs, right? If it did happen, people are saying it would be.
I'm assuming it's the Chiefs or the Ravens or even the Steelers.
God, if the Ravens got D-Hop, that team is winning the Super Bowl.
That's Super Bowl. That's a Super Bowl.
That's you're winning the Super Bowl at that point.
But the trade deadline is November 5th.
So the 5th. Okay.
At 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
But I came across the list of Titans players that could be shopped Arden Key
I would be okay with that one.
for a 6th.
Yeah, it's like I understand draft capital, but man,
There are 2 hard names to hear on this list. Number 2, Harold Landry
I disagree.
for a 3rd.
Yeah, I don't think we should shop him.
Of course, Hop for a 4th. I think that pick needs to be higher.
I do too.
The other hard one to hear, Big Jeff for a 1st.
I don't think. I mean, we just paid. Like, I don't know.
We just paid him.
Yeah, and the only reason I think people are putting Jeff's name in that conversation is the fact of his age. D-Hop, on the other hand, I understand.
He's not that old.
I know Jeff's not, but D-Hop, on the other hand, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think teams are like that will want to trade for him are going to look in longevity of what they're going to give up. So if you're only going to have
Andre Diggs is another one.
Yeah, I don't really know.
For a 6th.
I mean, like I said, I get draft capital. But
out of those 5, rank them 1 through 5 from most likely to least likely. I say Hop is most likely one.
Hop is most likely. I would put Arden Key number 2.
Diggs 3.
Diggs 3. Jeff and Landry aren't going anywhere.
So that's 4 or 5.
Yeah, but the reason people are saying things like that is because with Big Jeff, we potentially could get a 1st, probably.
Because
for him.
he's still a perennial young player.
Yeah, like Jeff's not old, so like you're gonna get more years out of Big Jeff than people are about D-Hop. So I understand the 4th, but if it was like you said, I agree with you, Lee. It would need to be like, hey, let's go in, okay, but with the option, like you said, or with however that's the conditional 3rd,
based on his performance in games. Mm-hmm. Like if he plays 70% of the snaps in a season,
yeah, exactly.
This team.
Yeah, for sure.
But we are facing a very defensive dominant team this week.
Yeah, this is a daunting task, man.
Yeah, but let's just dive into this.
All right.
So we were facing Buffalo, and of course, this whole show is powered by SeatGeek. And of course, you can use our code on SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. Use the code 615 podcast 615 PODCAST in all caps at checkout for $20 or more, or $20 off any order, specifically your first order on SeatGeek of $50 or more, and it's good for a one-time use.
Absolutely.
But the Bills, as we have said, it's a daunting task. This whole offense on Monday night against the Jets ran through one guy, in my opinion, and that was Ray Davis, their running back.
Yeah, which is weird with Cook's absence, you know.
Which we don't know if Cooks will be back this week.
Well, and that
Titans, and we have talked two moves Titans made. Trey Avery is like the plague that won't go away.
He's like I said, wait, what did you say? He's like the bad X that just keeps coming back, man. He's like, just stay away, leave me alone. Like, I can't. He's got
Trey Avery has been added to the 53.
Okay, so count 2 more touchdowns for the Bills.
And then
I'm serious when I say it too. That
Vols fans. And then Vols fans should be excited about this one.
Yeah.
Joshua Kelly, former Vol running back, has been added to the practice squad.
But I mean, I don't think he's going to see the field.
Unless Spears can't go.
Yeah, that's true.
Because per Callahan, Spears is week to week with that hamstring.
Which means he's not going to be playing on Sunday. Normally, when teams say that, he's not going to be playing. He won't be.
And he did
I
miss
don't
practice today.
What was that? Sorry.
And I said, and he did miss practice today.
Yeah, I mean, what are we looking at? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
Thursday at the time of this recording dropping.
Yeah.
But let's dive in to talk about this Titans-Bills game. Very, very daunting task.
Big time.
I'm going to go full screen so Tyler can see this.
Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Josh Allen, 19 of 25, 215, and 2 touchdowns. But the number highlighted right there in green, 2 sacks for 5 yards. He was sacked twice for a loss of 2.5 yards per play that he was sacked on. Which I like that number. That means there is a weakness in that offensive line somewhere.
Which that is the one thing that will actually work in our benefit, Lee, and I think we both agree with that. I mean,
yes,
we expect. I mean, because right now Josh Allen, he's going to have to watch the middle because you're going to have to. It doesn't matter.
Account for T-Pain.
I'm just T Sweat, man. Like I'm just going to tell you, the people out there that have watched these games. Let me tell you. It does not. I've never, honestly, it's been a while since I've seen an interior lineman like that. Like, yes, Big Jeff is pretty, but as far as just, but his full is just bulldozing people over. They double team him and he still is getting through. Even if he doesn't get the sack, like, I wish I could see his QB pressure numbers because I guarantee you right now.
That is one thing I would love to see.
Yeah, because I guarantee you it's huge. Even if he's not getting a sack, like, I mean, he is there every single play, and he's going to let you know it. Like,
and then the running stats for the Buffalo Bills. Ray Davis, 20 carries, 97 yards. That's an average of just under 5 yards a carry in a long of 15. Ty Johnson, 4 carries, 34 yards, 8.5 yards a carry, and his long was 13. Quarterback Josh Allen, he has that mobile aspect to his game. We have not done well with mobile quarterbacks at all.
No,
but 9 carries, 18 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Then you get to the receiving aspect. TK, you want to take this one?
Yeah. You got, Ray Davis, man, that's even, Lee kind of made a good point about it. Seems like the offense the other day ran through him because, I mean, you saw what he had in rushing, and then he literally is looking. I mean, this is the actual game. So he led the league, led the game in receiving as well, with a long of 42 yards, which means he's got big playability even in the receiving game, which we're going to have to watch that. Dalton Kincaid is going to do what Kincaid does. From what I'm seeing from those. Curtis Samuel, 3 for 44. Let's see. Dawson Knox, Brentwood Academy, Tennessee kid. He had 1 reception for a touchdown, and I will say Knox is very good in the red zone. So the Titans need to key in on him when they get in the red zone. I've seen it happen too many times the past couple years. Even the games we've won, I think he probably has a touchdown against us in all of those games. The past, 2 or 3 times we played him. So,
yeah, I'm trying to find that stat that you're wanting on Sweat.
But we can, and then
it's hard to find that.
And Hollins torched us because he was with the Raiders, right?
Yeah,
he torched us when he was with the Raiders. So even though he had a touchdown in this game, there's a lot of familiar
faces,
obviously, that we've played, and then of course my Florida State boy Keon Coleman. You got to watch
him.
Which is
right there, number 0.
Yeah, he's speedy as anything. So gonna have to watch out for him, especially. I'm wondering like who is going to be covering who. It's interesting. Well, also one thing to note on the receiving league we talked about already. You can add Cooper now to that, and They didn't have, they
I'm
haven't had.
thinking probably Snead on Cooper.
Let's see. Actually, it helps too because I've got it pulled up on the TV, so I'm looking too. And yeah,
Snead on Cooper. And then you have Brownlee on Curtis Samuel. And then it depends on who's right there in the slot. Matt Collins, maybe.
I don't know, man. Do you?
Coleman.
I mean, let's see. How many targets did he have? 4. Dude, I don't know, man. With his speed and his ability, you might have to. Just because I just know what Coleman can do, and I mean, he did, and he will go for long gains. I mean, you might even have to put him on Coleman.
Who? Brownlee.
I mean, I've already said I have. That is one player. That is a very bright.
As long as Trey Avery does not come on the field.
Well, he's probably going to. So, I mean, it is what it is. But at the same time, I definitely think Brownlee is going to be a force in this league for many years to come.
And you said that on Monday.
And I said it on Monday, and I'll say it again. That is a bold statement that I truly believe. That dude is a dog. I mean, just insane.
And then now to the defensive side for Buffalo. And you see there's a lot of red.
Yeah. There you go.
So Taylor Rapp, number 9, 8 total tackles, 5 solo, 3 pass deflections. DeMar Hamlin, 7 total, 6 solo, and 1 pass deflection. Dorian Williams, who I was very high on coming out of Tulane, 7 total tackles, 4 solo, and 1 tackle for loss. Douglas, who was in Green Bay, 5 total, 4 solo, 1 pass deflection. Here's where you start getting to the meat of what they do. AJ Epinesa, 4 total, 3 solo, 2 sacks, and 1 pass deflection. Gregory Rousseau, who was in, I think he's been with the Bills his whole career so far. 3 total, 2 solo, 1 tackle for loss. And then, of course, you see a former Titan at their next red down. Daquan Jones. We know him very well. He had 2 total tackles. Both were solo. He had 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. But I want to hit on that guy at the very bottom. Rookie Dwayne Carter out of Duke. That is a guy that if you go back and look, at the show with Rhett Bryan, if you can look at the show with Rhett Bryan, both Rhett and I looked at Dwayne Carter and talked about Dwayne Carter. And Rhett came out and said that Dwayne Carter will make someone a very nice piece.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But then we get to the special teams aspect of this team. Codrington, Brandon Codrington, the kick returner for Buffalo. This is one of the Titans need to limit. They need to limit the big return yards. Yeah, he had 1 carry or 1 return, but it's for 24 yards. Their kicker, Tyler Bass, he's known for missing field goals and extra points. He did it Monday night. He was 50% on field goal with a long of 22, and he was 2 for 3 on extra point. So he attempted 2 field goals on Monday night. He hit 1 of the 2. Their punter, Sam Martin, 3 punts, 151 yards with an average of 53 yards a punt. And 1 touchback, and the longest one was 62. So they have weapons all over the field for Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not I mean, I'm not optimistic about this game, Lee. I mean, I kind of already told you that. I know we'll get into predictions later, but there's just been a lot. There's been too much to happen this week, man. And last week and after everything and after hearing people talk, I mean, I think also, I mean, I know we've got a clip where we can kind of get into Levis once we get into like the Titan stuff. Do you want to go ahead and roll?
Is the next thing, the
Yeah.
next thing we're diving into.
Let's roll into that for sure, because
And
I'll pick you back off that.
This is from 3HL. Of course, shout out to the guys at 3HL. They are
Absolutely.
incredible. The big man Ron Slay, the mayor Brent Doherty, and ESPN's Don Davenport.
Twitch, please.
We're talking to Coach Dave McGinnis today.
Yeah.
And they were talking to Coach Mack today on 3HL. And Don specifically asked him, what does Levis have to do?
Yeah.
And you'll hear that at the start of the video. So,
what does Will Levis need?
What does he need? He needs to complete some passes.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. How much of this is lack of confidence at this point? Like, how much of this is in his head?
I don't know. I mean, and I say that because I don't know the quarterback. I don't know. When I was coaching, I knew every issue that was going on with players because I knew him. I don't know the quarterback, but just watching him, I mean, he needs to. I've done 2 speaking engagements already after that ball game, and people ask me what they need to do. I said they've got to win their way out of it, first of all. Then, of course, the next follow-up question is, well, how do they win? Well, they've got to get this passing game going. I mean, they've got a run game that can complement a good throwing game if they can get the passing game going, just a little bit. I mean, that and the defense, we know how the defense is playing. And so, I mean, but I don't know whether it's confidence. I don't know whether it's mechanics. I don't know, but I know this. They've got to start moving the ball through the air because in the National Football League, you've got to be able to do that. And, that 17-point threshold is just not enough.
All right.
And Coach Mack said it well. That 17-point threshold in the NFL is not enough.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Coach Mack, actually, by the way. Every Sunday during the games, all the home games that I worked, when we would go eat before the games, I'd catch him in the hallway all the time. He always spoke. He's really a really great guy, and he really knows what he's talking about. I love to hear his takes on. Very intelligent, obviously, with all his coaching and everything. But yeah, the issue of, kind of what it's kind of like the question all of us have been asking all year is like, well, when is Levis going to mature?
Is it a confidence thing?
Is it a confidence thing? At this point, I don't know. He did mention today in his press conference, Will Levis did mention that he didn't say these exact words, but he basically was saying, hey, I've got to get that fire back. Kind of like what I've been saying, like when he was flexing and everything and doing all that. And he was
with cocaine.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, and I know Titans players at this point, I want him to go back to when he scrambles trying to jump over people. I'm literally to that point with him.
Go back and look at his indie game from last year.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you don't have a read like you did last year, take off. If you feel the need to bulldoze somebody, you go right ahead, because if something was to happen, Mason can come in and I think we'd be fine. But right now, I think Will Levis,
get your mojo back.
Yes. It's like that. It's like that. It's like that, like a movie or like a that you see like a really popular guy, and then like he might have an injury or something happens, and then it's like he's like real down on his luck and everything, like just like a sports movie or something. And then you got to get that back, man. You can't just like times are tough right now, Will, but remember what got you here in the first place. Remember what got you that starting spot. You may have not won all those games last year, but you were named our starting quarterback. Remember how you got there. Remember the journey, like literally, as people say. So, and I think he's got to do that, because it's sounding like from what Callie's saying, this is what's happening. We're riding with him. So at the end of the day, with saying all that, do I think this season gets turned around? Personally, for me, Lee, and I know you might have a little bit of a different opinion, I don't. I think, and also I don't want to put it all on that. I want to put it on the coaching too. He said in that clip, we have to get the passing game going. When we were Monday night, when we were talking, we brought up basically think about the receiving core we have. Think about the players, the running. You got Tajay Spears, you got Pollard, you've got a plethora of receivers at any other quarterback would love to have and would probably do better with, to be honest. And that's just kind of where I'm at on Will. I've accepted it. It's looking like we're just going to have to deal with this. But if maybe something can change, like
as
I said,
much as we don't want to.
As much, but at the end of the day, like maybe he gets his mojo back. Maybe
I got my swagger back.
Exactly. Like, yeah, come on, dude.
We need Will to find his swagger again.
Hey, he needs to do, man, every game day when I played ball back in the day. Do you want to know what my alarm was every day I woke up? What song it was that played before my game days?
What?
Turn my swag on by Soulja Boy. That was my alarm. What I woke up to. That's what. Yeah, that's what he needs to start making his alarm on game days, because that's what we need. Listen
to it pregame.
I want cocky, confident Levis back. All the stuff that people were worried about coming out of the draft, I want that for him, because when he did that, I had a lot more faith than I do now.
But let's dive in, look at the Titans stats, which we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because we know what happened.
Yeah.
If you look at Will Levis, he was not sacked at all. But he did not throw for over 100 yards.
Dude, that's pitiful, man.
Tony Pollard was like our Ray Davis in the backfield.
I mean, Pollard is doing pretty well,
He's basically our freaking Derrick Henry.
I mean, not that far, but I mean, at this point,
carrying this team right now.
Yeah, I do definitely get what you're saying, Lee.
DeAndre Hopkins. Now let's look at these receiving numbers. Hop had four receptions on 6 targets for 54 yards.
Yeah, and then
but Tyler Boyd caught everything that was on him. Burks did too. NWI had 1 catch on 2 targets, 9 yards. Chig caught everything. Josh Wiley caught everything. So did Tony Pollard. But the big glaring thing right here is Calvin Ridley had 0 receptions on 8 targets. The interesting thing about that, all 8 of those targets came in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I think it was either all 8 or it was 7. Yeah, but you're right, Lee. It was all 8. It was all, yeah. So all 8 basically.
Go back and watch his press conference after the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a tough one. But I understand his frustration. He gets paid what was it, 92? I think 92 mil, and
over 4 years.
And then you're not even getting a ball thrown your way until the 4th quarter, and honestly, I love D-Hop, but I think Ridley is right now our number 1 receiver. And actually, what's
Angela?
No, with Blaine, I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Zach,
yeah, Zach. Put it pretty good. He goes, it doesn't feel like, even though we have all of these players, it doesn't feel like we really know who number 1, number 2, and number 3 is on the pecking
and that's
chart.
a good thing in my mind.
It is, but
because it's keeping teams off balance.
It is, but I'm going to go back to something I said after, I think, our 2nd loss, that I said about Will, with him being so young.
It's that inexperience.
Yeah, and it sounds weird because it's like, as Titans fans, we want it, but it's almost like you're giving him too much too soon. It's like when a young celebrity gets a lot of money and doesn't know what to do with it, and then they end up going off the rails like we've seen so many celebrities do. It almost feels like that with Will, if that's like the analogy I'm trying to make, because basically you're giving him the tools. You're like, hey, think about what he had last year, right?
Yeah.
Now, he didn't have this. I mean, any quarterback in the league would die to have this. Arguably,
and
strictly talent, he's probably top 3, 4 in the league, like as a whole in the receiving core. You're like, hey, you're basically telling Levis, here's $1 million. And obviously he's older than 14 years old, but it's like, what are you going to do with all this money? Well, he doesn't know what to do with it. His brain can't calculate it. So it's just, he feels like he's, there's a lot of people in the room that are used to getting the ball. So you're
talking young people who got fame very young. I don't know if you saw this, but the music world lost a good one very young.
Oh yeah, I did see that today. The One Direction guy.
Liam Payne.
Yeah.
Died at the age of 31.
Yeah. Yeah. R.I.P. man.
And he got, as I said, he got his fame very young.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He was like 15, 16.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that, man. I couldn't.
But we're going to dive into, because I basically started running through the Titans offense, not anything deeper, because that's been the glaring need is offense.
We all know what's going on at this point.
And I sent this to Tyler. The thing that does not make sense with the Titans is we still have the number one freaking defense in the league. We still have the number one defense in the league.
That's painful. That is painful to hear, dude. It's painful to hear that.
And these are all from John Glennon. Offensively, we're 31st in the league overall.
Yeah.
We're 31st in pass. We're 15th in run. And we're 21st in points. Defensively, we have the number one overall defense. We're number one against the pass. We're 9th against the run. And we're 13th in points.
Yeah.
Allowed. Yeah. Titans pressure rate per drop back in week, and this is by week. And this is on Will Levis. This is coming from an offense standpoint. 47% in week 1 against the Bears.
Yeah.
60% against the Jets.
Yeah.
36% against the Packers in week 3. 39% against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Then we had the bye week. Week 6 was our 4th lowest in week 6.
Yeah.
At 27% of the dropbacks, he was getting pressured.
Yeah.
Offensive average points per quarter. First quarter, we're averaging 5.6 points.
Yeah.
That was 12th highest in the league.
Yeah.
Second quarter, we're averaging 5 points.
Yeah.
That's 24th highest.
Yeah.
Third quarter, 6.2 points in the third quarter. That's 8th highest. And this is what the Titans are scoring offensively. Fourth quarter, we're scoring on average 2.4 points in the fourth quarter. That is the second lowest. Then you get to the defense. First 3 quarters, we look like world beaters.
Mm-hmm.
First quarter, we're averaging, on average, allowing 5 points. That's 17th lowest.
Yeah.
Second quarter, 3.8. That's 4th lowest.
So we're at the bottom of the barrel outside of defense, pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Third quarter, 5.4.
Yeah.
That's 21st lowest.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fourth quarter, we are actually the 6th highest. We're allowing on average 8 points.
Do you know why? Do you know why that is? It's because our defense is having to carry the team, and
exactly.
At some point, what's the saying? The straw is going to break camel's back at some point. It's gonna it's going to happen at some point. And I will tell you this right now. Did Snead have an awful game the other day? Yeah, but he's going to bounce back.
Did he keep him at bay? Sort of.
But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is like the defense. It's like anything else in life, man. It's got to be a team on both sides. And right now, our defense feels like they're doing everything, basically.
They're carrying this team.
It's like I said, if you look at our loss differential, man, it's crazy. Outside of the Green Bay game, I mean, dude, I told you
We should be
could,
like 4-1.
we could easily be 4-1, and we could also easily have no wins
0-5.
outside of the Dolphins game.
Green
But
Bay
really, no. Well, I mean on the win side, the Dolphins game, like I do understand, but at the same time, that's what hurts. And is I know people are like, well, the Dolphins were depleted. Well, that's okay, that's fine. But at the same time, like it was Mason in there, man, and we won, and pretty convincingly. And thank God,
and
Lee,
you
that's
saw
the
what
one
kind
watch
of
party we
success we
did.
can have.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you saw the type of success that we can have with Mason.
Yeah, and
but we're going to dive into top 5 games around the NFL in week 7. And this is presented by SeatGeek. My number one game, this is a rematch for the Super Bowl. I said Kansas City at San Francisco.
Yeah, and that's a big part, just, the rematch and all of that.
Vikings-Lions, divisional matchup. This is the Lions' first game without Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, man, I was actually
gruesome. That was gruesome.
I was on the phone with Lee, when it happened, and I was sending him text messages back and forth, and we were talking about it, and he sent me a picture of what it actually looked like, and it was one of those injuries where you knew when the broadcast said we will not show it again, but of course it's social media. We're going to find it, and we did, and it was bad. And
then of course the question is, can the Vikings hold their perfect 5-0 record?
Gosh, number 1 in the NFC right now, 5 weeks in. I would have called, 6 weeks in, but I would call you crazy.
Titans at the Bills. This game's always a good game. It's either a knockdown, drag-out, defensive battle, or it's a blowout for somebody.
Yeah.
And we've won 2 of the last 3 meetings.
Yeah.
The last time we played the Bills, they got the best of us. I think it was like 45-21 or 51-7, something like that.
And also, I don't think this changes anything, but I was talking to Lee. I said it was kind of weird because this is the first time we've played the Bills in the past 3 times where that's not a primetime game.
Yeah. Because the first
COVID was the
last
first
time
one.
we played them was 2020.
Yeah, that was COVID.
On a Tuesday night.
And then the next one was
the last 2 were on Mondays.
Yeah, and the Josh Allen one was the 1-yard Josh Allen stuff at the buzzer. Yeah.
Which you were there for.
Oh, yeah. That's actually one of the games I said, other than the San Fran game when AJ took over up near Christmas, that's the loudest I think I've heard the stadium.
I'm surprised it did not measure on a freaking Richter scale.
Oh, yeah. It was, deafening, and I was inside the booth and had headphones. I mean, it was insane.
Number 4, I said Saints Broncos.
Yeah.
In the Big Easy. Question is, can Bo Nix handle that noise in the Superdome?
Yeah, I heard it's a different breed in there.
And the final game, Dolphins at Indy.
Yeah.
Can the Dolphins come into the AFC South and get a win?
Yeah, I'm for sure. I'm wondering that too. And I'm also wondering are the Colts going to still, after this week, be able to hang on to, like, if the playoffs started today, technically they'd be the 7th seed. So I'm wondering if
they would have to go to Houston.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, that's such a shocker to me. And that's why I said I think a lot of it's too early. One that I'll just, like, a honorable mention that I was talking to Lee about is the Falcons and Seahawks. I'm looking forward to that one. It's a 3:15 game. Looking forward to that one for sure too, just to see if the Falcons can keep rolling and if Geno's going to keep throwing like he is,
So before we dive into the back end, the very final thing of this show, which is who wins, we're going to dive into keys to victory presented by SeatGeek. For me, number 1, you have to contain the run game.
Especially if Cook comes in too, and then you've got Cook, and if they throw the other guy, Davis into the mix,
Number 2,
I actually feel confident about that one, Lee. I think we will.
Number 2, we did a decent job about this one last week. Forced mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had what, 1 or 2 interceptions last week?
We only had one, but Brownlee almost had 2 himself.
Well, so did Murray.
That one, I mean, technically they were talking about that. We technically could have had like 4 or 5 turnovers that game. Brownlee almost got 2 interceptions right before half, back-to-back plays.
And then number 3, offensive line is looking better, but you have to continue to protect Will. Because he's like the little man tape. He's like the little man held together by tape.
To be honest with you, when it comes to that, like, yes, absolutely. Offensive line, I mean, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Sometimes, though, with him, if you haven't noticed, and this is true, a lot of his interceptions this year have actually happened when he's had time, almost too much time. If you go back, so it's like, but yes, we definitely need to protect him. I'm just saying he's got to make his reads quicker if we're going to. You know what I mean?
And I'm going to let TK take this one first.
All right. Titans fans, I think everybody would pretty much agree with me. I think I'm going to say it pretty brutally. The Titans are going to get smacked. My prediction for this game is Bills 38, Tennessee 10. Bills 38, Titans 10. That right there, that is my prediction. I think it's a sad another. At least this time, I think we're kind of expecting it, but I think it's going to be pretty brutal. That's just me being honest with the fans, like out there, listeners, and everything.
I'm going the same way, but not as bad because I'm looking at the spread. The Bills are favored by 9.
Yeah, which in the NFL is a big spread
because the home team's always given 3. So it's actually a 12-point spread.
Yeah, I mean, if you're being honest, that's like a basketball spread at 20. I mean, a 20-point loss. I mean, it's gonna. I mean, if you're putting it,
here's where I'm going, and the reason I'm going at it this way, the Bills are coming off of a short week.
Yeah,
because they just played Monday night. They're not having as much time for their bodies to rest as the Titans have.
Yeah.
Josh Allen did not play that great of a game. Yeah, he had what was like 200 yards.
Yeah.
But then you throw Amari Cooper into the mix. I'm going Bills 35, Titans 21.
That's if we can even score 21 points. Yeah.
And I think if Miami was something to build on, it's this game right here.
Well, Lee, here's the thing too but
we also had Mason starting that game.
The past 3 seasons, Josh Allen has been top 5 in interceptions, actually. So, I saw that stat before the season started, I think. We do know that Josh Allen does make mistakes. Josh Allen's got a little bit of Levis in him. He tries to do too much. He does.
That's why everybody's comparing Will Levis to Josh Allen.
He tries to do a little bit too much sometimes and gets him in trouble. And with this defense, I will say he will not be able to do that against this defense because if not, I mean,
if he does,
because Allen's gonna get Allen is gonna get pressured in this game by this defense. He's going to have to make decisions on the fly,
and
he's gonna have to improvise. Yeah,
Levis is the same way.
Yeah, Josh Allen is going to get pressured, and he will have to improvise on Sunday. He's going to have to make playmaker plays. The question is does the defense capitalize on these maybe mistakes that he can make? So.
Well, we will just have to wait and see.
Absolutely.
But before we get out of here, we do have a big thing to announce.
Yes.
November 10th.
Yes.
Titans go on the road to LA.
Yes.
But Tyler and I will be back here just like what we did with Miami.
And a
Watch party.
It was
number
good
2.
luck. It was good luck last time. So
we will have an official time later on. It's
Yeah.
like a 4:05 kick.
yeah,
So 3:05 there.
yeah.
But we cannot talk about this without doing this.
Pressure up the middle.
And we hope to hear a lot of that on Sunday, for sure.
I want to see Sweat get his first NFL sack this week.
Well, you mean first sack of the season?
It's his
Sorry.
first.
I Sweat and Simmons got them mixed up. Sorry.
It's his first NFL sack
I got you.
by big pain train T Sweat.
Yeah, exactly.
But man, TK, it's time to shut up shop.
Yep, let's do it.
As we always say, stay classy and tighten up.
Tighten up.
Let's get tightened up. Tightened up.